Hi everyone, welcome back to Property Investor TV. Today, we're going to talk about something that can be incredibly lucrative for property investors, converting office spaces into residential units using permitted development, PD, rights. Now, I know what you might be thinking, isn't PD rights just for changing the use of an existing building from one class to another? Well, yes and no. While it's true that PD rights do allow for changes of use, they can also be used to convert office spaces into residential units, providing a fantastic opportunity for investors to increase their rental income and maximize yields. So, let's dive in and explore the process of converting an office space into a residential unit using PD rights. First things first, it's essential to understand what PD rights are all about. In simple terms, PD rights allow for certain changes to be made to a building without needing planning permission. This can include things like changing the use of a building from commercial to residential, or making alterations to a property to improve its energy efficiency. Now, when it comes to converting an office space into a residential unit, there are a few key considerations you'll need to keep in mind. Firstly, you'll want to make sure that the office space is located in an area where there's high demand for housing and limited supply. This could be in areas with good transport links, near universities, or in areas with a growing population. Once you've identified a suitable location, it's time to start thinking about the conversion process itself. This will typically involve making significant changes to the building, such as installing new flooring, walls, and ceilings, and fitting out the space with residential-style fixtures and fittings. You'll also need to ensure that the property meets all relevant building regulations and fire safety standards. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, this all sounds very complicated and time-consuming. And you're right, it can be. However, with the right expertise and guidance, converting an office space into a residential unit using PD rights can be a fantastic way to increase your rental income and maximize yields. So, what are some of the benefits of converting an office space into a residential unit? Well, for starters, you'll have the opportunity to increase your rental income by charging higher rates for the property. You'll also be able to benefit from any potential capital appreciation in the value of the property over time. And let's not forget about the tax benefits. As a landlord, you'll be able to offset the costs of the conversion against your taxable profits. Of course, there are also some potential drawbacks to consider. For example, converting an office space into a residential unit can be a costly and time-consuming process. You'll need to factor in the cost of any necessary repairs or renovations, as well as the cost of any professional fees or expenses. And let's not forget about the risk of void periods between tenants. This could impact your cash flow and profitability. So, is converting an office space into a residential unit using PD rights right for you? It depends. If you're looking to increase your rental income and maximize yields, then it might be worth considering. However, if you're not prepared to put in the time and effort required to convert the property, or if you're not comfortable with the potential risks involved, then it might not be the best option for you. In conclusion, converting an office space into a residential unit using PD rights can be a fantastic way to increase your rental income and maximize yields. However, it's essential to do your research and carefully consider the potential benefits and drawbacks before making any decisions. Thanks for watching everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.